there. Right. Wow, what a week, eh? Oh, it's been fun, it's been exhausting, it's been almost terrifying at times. But anyway, to start off with the news, Britain's Next Gem, JewelleryMaker TV, I made it through to the semi-final. So yeah, I'm in the final 3. So when we left last week, we were given some strands of white jade to work with. I'm sorry I couldn't announce it last week. We were asked not to announce it until they'd announced it, which I think is perfectly fair enough. It's their show. They're giving us the opportunity. They call the shots, of course they do. So it's only fair that I didn't tell you till the news was sort of out there. Not that it's massively confidential stuff or important to a lot of people, but it's important to me, and I like to abide by what people have asked of me. So I didn't say anything until I'd been on, and this is the first time I was on Wednesday. This is the first time on Saturday that I had time to sit down and make this video. So I won't bore you too long with it. It wasn't as terrifying last week. I'll just give you a potted view of events. It wasn't as terrifying as last time. As I say, we were given these 3 strings of white jade. Lovely white jade, not something I normally work in because it's beads, and it's not very often that silversmiths work with beads. They work cabochons, they work faceted stones, but beads not very often. So that in itself was a challenge. So we were asked that we take these home, don't tell anyone, but work on them to bring them back on Wednesday. So there was a week between the 2 shows, exactly. So I thought about it and thought, what the dickens am I going to do with these? Because it's not something I use. But anyway, I worked my way through it, and I'll show you the pictures of what I made. Also the brief. Clearly, it's a shopping channel. The beads had to be the star of the show in what you made, which of course it does, because you're trying to sell the beads, and they were beautiful. So it was up to us, the 3 of us, to make something to help sell the beads, basically. But it was also a challenge to us. So we went away to do that, and we were told we'd probably be on 12 till 1, and on the TV guide it said 12 till 1. But unbeknown to us, we were going to get another little email on Monday saying, "What's your favourite stones?" Because we'd like to do a little challenge when you get here. You won't be on at 8 o'clock this week, as we were last week. We would be on at 9. So we would be on between 9 and 10, making our surprise challenge. I don't know what I'm doing that for, because it genuinely was. So our surprise challenge, and then we would go into this room that we went into last time to finish it off, and bring it in at about 11:45. So actually we were on air between 9 and 10, on and off, and we were on most of the time between 11:45 and 1 o'clock. So we got lots and lots of airtime, and it was such good fun. As in the first week, they looked after us so well. They are such kind people and so welcoming. I know people who work there say they're like a family. Well, they really genuinely are. And I don't have to say that on here, because I don't have to pretend, but they are so nice. They had drinks on tap, they gave us our lunch, and they just genuinely help you to feel confident. And none of us were anywhere near as nervous this week. It's incredible. Just 1 week doing it, and this week we just felt so much more comfortable. So anyway, Tuesday we toddled off Oh yeah. So no, let me go back. So in the email on Monday, they'd asked us what was our favourite gemstone. I had no idea what the others had put, but I put turquoise and rhodochrosite because they genuinely are two of my very favourite stones. Normally cabochons. But anyway, Tuesday, we packed up, we toddled off, and we booked into our Premier Inn. And then Tuesday night, we did the same as we did last week. We went off to Stratford-on-Avon. And we used to live ever so near to Stratford-on-Avon till about 9 years ago. And of course, I did my weekly shopping at Stratford-on-Avon, so it was second nature to me going to Stratford-on-Avon. And it's just been, the last 2 weeks, it's just been so lovely going on a bit of a memory trip, really. I won't think I surprise you by saying the town has changed incredibly because so many of the big shops on the high street just aren't there anymore, and there's empty premises. But beyond that, there was still loads and loads of really nice restaurants, loads and loads of really nice shops, and it was just lovely. Thoroughly enjoyed it. So we found ourselves somewhere to eat. I could eat this week. I hadn't got as many butterflies in my tummy, so off we went to get something to eat. Got back to their hotel room. And then I started to think of what I was going to do. Previously to that, I had made my mind up that I was not putting myself, we'd got less time this week, so I was not putting myself under the pressure to do soldering, and certainly not making a bezel after last week's episode. So I packed my bag, a smaller bag, you'll be pleased to know. Wasn't the great big suitcase. Left all my soldering stuff at home, but I took my saw, took my hammers, took my steel block, and my pliers and files and sanding stuff, and just general stuff, but not soldering. I was not going to solder this week. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I wasn't soldering, I knew that much, and if I didn't take the stuff, I couldn't be tempted. So then we got back to the hotel room, sat with a drink, and I was thinking about it. And then I started at this point, which was a lot later in the week than last week. It started going through my mind. Well, what about the hammering? It's disruptive. What about this? What about that? If I get given rounds, what am I going to do with them this time? And so on and so on. So I got in my head that there was something I could do and to make a nice pair of earrings. And then I was thinking, I've got 2.5 hours here. I decided I was taking with me copper because I've got plenty of copper. I've got loads of copper sheets, loads of copper wire, plenty of jump rings and all the little bits and pieces you need. So I've got loads of that stuff. I'm not going to take silver because I didn't want to run the risk of messing it up or wasting it. So I thought I'd take this copper and I'll feel not so much pressure with the copper, etc, etc. So as I say, I started wondering about what I was going to do with these earrings I decided to make. Shall I do this? Shall I cut it in strips and wrap it round and round and put an earring? Anyway, all this stuff. I won't bore you with the millions of things that were floating around. So I didn't go to sleep straight away because I've got this stuff going through it. But I really didn't need another sleepless night. I do have to say that. So it was lights out. I'm still thinking about these flipping earrings. And I was thinking, how do I fit all this in right from scratch? And I didn't know out of that 2.5 hours how much the talking and the chatting and everything else, which is lovely, but it does eat into your time. So how much time was I going to lose? And then I hadn't been, lights out hadn't been long, and I had just a brainwave. Well, a brainwave to me. Why am I doing earrings? That's double the work. I don't need to do earrings. why don't I do a pendant? That's one thing. I can make it bigger, hopefully look a little bit more impressive. And if so I could make my pendant, put it on chain if it took me the whole of the 2.5 hours, or if I'd got time over, I could make myself a chain. I'd got my jump rings. I didn't know what I was getting, so it was like a light bulb, and I just slept like a baby. I had the best night's sleep, which is just incredible. The alarm woke me up, so you can tell. So I woke up, I was refreshed, I wasn't worrying, and I was so much better than last week. So off we went, got dropped off, yeah, walked into the building. Nowhere near as nervous. I knew the sort of layout. I'm not very good at directions, so you know, it was hard for me to find the loo on my own because of all the corridors, but nevertheless I knew where to go from the front door. Anyway, I walked in through the front door, and who should I bump into? Oh, I'm sorry, I've just kicked the bin over. Who should I bump into but Wayne, who was organising one of the people organising all of this, and Carol Roach, who was going to be the presenter on the show, and Mark Smith, who was the guest designer for the day. And I bumped straight into them. Well, the show starts at 8 o'clock, so, and we had to be there for 8. So I went, oh, I didn't expect you. I thought you would be on air. And of course, oh no, they looked at their watch. You know, they'd got a few minutes to go, so they were waiting outside the studio to go in. So we had a really nice little chat. So we were able to introduce ourselves. But I am waffling on. I've gone 11 minutes now, and I didn't intend this to be a long video. So we got there, and what we were given was what we chose. What we told them was our favourite. That's what they get. That's what I got. I got what do they call it? Well, I got a little string of all the same size, graduated, that's what they call it. I got a string of turquoise, which were all the same size, I think 4mm. And then I got a string of beautiful Sleeping Beauty turquoise, which was graduated. And I got a string of rhodochrosite, which were exactly the same as the 4mm turquoise. So all this stuff's going through my head. Oh, I can do this, I can do this. So we got on the show at 9 o'clock, and I was sort of got an idea in my head, and I was ready to go. No, I'm not messing about. As soon as they say go, I'm going to go. So what I did, I'm going to sneeze, excuse me. Sorry. So we got into the studio, and they said what we'd got, and they showed the customers what we'd got, and we were let loose. So I was able just to start. I got my copper out and all my tools. I was a lot more organised this week. Last week I just got it out as I needed it. I got it out, but I got this great big bag, and I had to scrabble through it. So I couldn't find half the stuff I've taken because I'd got that much thrown into this bag. Anyway, I'd got less stuff, more organised, and I calmly got out, before I started, everything I needed. So I was a lot more organised, and I wasn't working in such a mess. So anyway, I started getting my design out of the copper, and then I started banking. But of course, they're in the studio again. Bang, 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 bang. There's me. And Carol is really amusing. Carol is the presenter. She is a proper comedian. She is so funny, so entertaining, and just really lovely to be around. So I started hammering, and she looks at her camera and she said, "Somebody's after attention." Which of course made me feel so... No, it didn't make me feel bad in that way. I wished I could get it done quick so I wasn't the butt of everybody's joke. No, I wasn't even the butt of everybody's joke. Everybody was laughing with each other. Nobody was laughing at you. They were laughing with you because they were too kind to do that. So that was hilarious. But I wished I had a rubber hammer. I wish I could have made this stuff with a rubber hammer. Anyway, I kept on. I got it done, and I'm going to try and condense this story. Got it done, and then the hour flew by. It came to 10 o'clock. Then we were able to go into this other room, and Mark Smith was allowed to come in the other room with us because he was doing, after he'd done his stint, he was the one on the microphone, the same as Hannah did it last week. So let me show you, and I'll put all these photos in the video. But it just helps if you know what I'm talking about, to be fair. So I've put all these photos and videos in an album. So I will just show you very quickly as we go along. So basically, this is what I made. So I'm going to stand up and show you. So let's get there. So which one is it? So that one. So I don't know if you can see it. I had time to, I did all my little bit of copper. I put the beads on head pins and rolled loops at the top and attached them with jump rings. And then I had time to make the chain. So I put, what did I put? 5 beads alternating onto little head pins. And I put about 9 jump rings in between. So then was able to make the chain as well. So this is it. And there's me being interviewed about it, and there's the other one a little bit closer. But you know, one other thing, when they were called our little bundles, the beads they'd given us on the day, and when they came to sell those, they'd given us they'd given discount codes. Everything that we were given to use with had a 15% discount code. And we all had our own discount code. And mine was Livon 15. Oh, how fantastic is that? I mean, what a treat. So it was like, if you want to buy this, use your discount code Livon 15, so you get your 15% off. So that was fun. So anyway, we went into the room. Mark Smith stayed with us, and that was good. He was great fun. I've watched Mark on the show for about the last 10 years. He is a real old hand. Mark and Carol have been there a long time. So we were actually working with hardened professionals. They knew exactly what they were doing, and that was brilliant. So after the about 11:45, it was like, stop now, you've got to go into the studio and we're going to show what you've made, which we did. And then after that, and they interviewed us, sold the stuff. You can work all this out for yourself. And then they showed the stuff we'd been able to make, because that was what made me feel more confident when we got there and when we were on our way. The fact we'd been given this stuff last week to make a suite of jewellery at home. Well, of course, as you'll all know, it's so much easier when you're in your own space and you're doing your own thing. So yeah, so we were in. Let me have a look. I've got some pictures of mine. But as I say, don't forget, it's not all metalsmithing. I know most of you will be metalsmiths watching this, but we had to make the white jade the star of the show, so please take that into consideration. So that was one of my main pieces. I did an asymmetric piece. I did I'll say a little bit of chainmail. It was just very simple 2 in 2, and the clasp, you'll see it on the photos better when I put them in the video. The clasp I made, I cut a circle and then an inner circle, textured it and domed it, and I made the little T-bar, the little toggle. No, I think it's a T-bar, that the thing that goes through the hole. And then I'd put white jade, alternating between large and small. And we were lucky enough to have Livy come and visit us, so I took the opportunity to get her to model it on her very young neck, which would have looked, I don't think I would have modelled it, but I was very pleased with that picture. I thought she looked lovely in it, but unfortunately I had to take it off her, so it was a bit short-lived. So let's have a look what we've got. That's the beginning. So that was the necklace. I made a little knotted bracelet, like a pearl knotted one. I made the same clasp but smallest, so it would tie my pieces to get in as a suite, really. But I used, because they were white, I used a reddy purple cord, which is what they do, what the Chinese people do with jade, don't they? Put a lot of red tassels and red cord on their stuff. So I did that one, and that pair of earrings I made with basically the same element as the clasp, but they were suitable for people who didn't do soldering, although I've made them at home. I wanted to show something that I don't have to solder. I can make pieces of jewellery that don't need soldering. So for anybody who wanted to do do metal smithing and not do the soldering, that was it. So because I'm not very good at loops, in fact I'm useless at loops, what I did, and you can probably see it there, I flattened the wire out at the end with a hammer, which I could do in my own space because I did those at home, and I flattened that out so that the beads didn't roll off the bottom. So that is completely made with no soldering at all. They were very popular on the show. The other pair of earrings I made, and I'm not sure you can see them too well from that video because I've got a stone wall behind them, but hey-ho. They're asymmetrical earrings. One obviously a lot larger than the other, 2 beads and on the large one and 1 bead on the small one. And of course, in this country, we've just had a series called All That Glitters, and one of their challenges was to make a statement earring, one statement earring, because apparently that's a thing. Who knew? But it's a thing where, I don't know whether it's just celebrities or anyone, but people just wear one big earring apparently. So that was my take on a statement earring with a little one to accompany it. So, you know, people could take the idea, they could make 2 big ones, they could make 2 little ones if they prefer, but that was just an idea. Again, I flared the bottom of the wire so that the beads didn't fall off. Such a con artist, eh? Just flattening the wire. But I can't make loops look nice, and you know, you've got to hold your hands up if it's something you're not good at. We can't all be good at everything, but flattening the wire so they don't fall off suited me down to the ground. What else have we got? Oh, so that's a little video showing my pieces before I take them, but I won't bore you with that. I'll put that in the video. There's the copper again. There's the copper. There's a shot they put on screen of the knotting. And that, the final one, I will add into the video at the end. And I do have to say, even if you skip to the end and you don't want to watch all this, that's fine. You watch as much or as little as you want. I'm not forcing you to do anything, but I'm not kidding you. I do. It's about, how long is it? It's 2.5 minutes long, but it was at the end of the show. I think we were all a bit demob happy, and Carol and Mark were there with the 3 contestants, and but it was quite amusing. So if I was you, I would watch that bit if you don't watch anything else. So I'm going to wrap it up now. I'll add all these things in so that you can see them a lot clearer than looking at them on my iPad. And all I can say is we've now got to wait to find out who's in the final and in the final 2. We haven't been told that yet, so we're waiting. And I think it'll be a little while before I can report back on that one, because if you watch this video at the end, you'll hear Carol say that, you know, these things can't be done overnight. The next stage is not really about the making, it's more about the designing. So clearly, you know, there's lots and lots of processes to go through. So if I don't get through, I would do it all again. What I've done, I thoroughly enjoyed. It was the opportunity of a lifetime in my eyes, and I'm so pleased. I was brave, and I'm not kidding you. You did have to be brave to go and do it. It's not easy turning up blind on a TV show, particularly when you're scared to death, and everybody was. We were all shaking. But how much easier it was the second week! I can't believe it. The difference between the first week and the second week was remarkable. So I won't be giving you I'm sorry, I won't be giving you an update in the foreseeable future. It could be, where are we now? It could even be December before I know anything else, because there's a lot of people involved in the next stage behind the scenes. We've got to, if we get through, won't take anything for granted, for crying out loud. But if we get through, we've got to work with their team, and there's drawings involved, and there's a whole lot of stuff that has to go on before anything can happen. So fingers crossed I'll get through to the last two. It would be wonderful if I did. And if I didn't get any further than that, I've had a ball. I really have. And I've done 26 minutes. I didn't intend to do this long yet again. I can't seem to stop talking when I get onto this subject, because I loved it so much and I had such a fantastic time. And thank you to all of you who've supported me, all the people that have come over from Francesca Watson's Facebook group. The support I've had from you, I can't thank you enough. You've been tremendous, and it's lovely to talk to you all, and thank you all for your lovely comments. You've been so supportive, and everyone else, all my other subscribers that have stuck with me since I've been doing this channel. Thank you all. You're all so kind, and you're all so supportive, and there won't be no point me doing this without you. And I'm just pleased that you're liking hearing my journey and listening to my story. But this particular story will go quiet for a little bit now. I won't go quiet. That'll be the day. I won't go quiet. I'll still be back with things I'm making, and this has like got my mind going. I've got so many things I want to make now. So on the surface, we'll be having a break from this, and if I don't get through, then I'll have all the time in the world to do what I normally do. So thank you so much, everybody, for everything. I thank you for your support. I thank you for sticking with me, and watch this space. You will get to know, even if I don't get through, as soon as they give us the information and allow us to share it, which, you know, it's their story. It's up to them to share it first. That's only fair. So as soon as I can, I'll let you know what I know. All right. Well, thank you so much for everything, all of you. And I am going to sign off now. But I'll put the pictures and the videos at the end. So don't just disappear. There'll be a little bit more after I finish this, just quickly for you to have a look through. But please watch the little video at the end. It's 2.5 minutes long, and it might make you smile. Okay. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Do you have any?
Surprised to know that you can get in touch with me in any ways.
Really? Oh my gosh, okay. This sounds exciting.
Yes, I've got a Facebook page. I go under Livon Designs.
Oh, nice.
And I've got an Instagram page. I've got a website, but it's not updated very often. I need to get onto that.
And Yvonne has subscribers on her YouTube channel.
I've got a YouTube channel, and I'm the oldest YouTuber in town.
Oh, how fantastic.
So,
what's your YouTube
they
channel?
all go under Livon Designs.
Live on Designs.
Yeah,
I like that.
Livon.
And would that be the name of your collection, or would you?
Well,
have you thought about a name?
I haven't thought about a name, to be honest.
You always thought of a box. She's standing on a box. She's literally standing on a box. I love it. You almost fell off, but you didn't. You're such a professional.
No, it's the name of my company. My packaging is all in that name. So
it's Livon.
Yeah, because people do try to friend me on my personal page on Facebook, which is lovely, and I don't mind. But I don't often post my jewellery. So if it's my jewellery you're interested in, Livon Designs.
Oh, I'm definitely going to look that up.
Oh, thank you. But I love Instagram as well because it's so quick.
It is
Take a photo, put it on.
Give us a little clue about your collection. I know I shouldn't be doing this at all. Give us a little clue about
One word.
Oh.
2 words.
2 words. Come on, I'll give you 2.
Drilling stones.
Oh. Right.
Right.
Oh, look, you're...
Oh, here you are. Oh, this is the best marketing ever.
Wow.
Gosh, that looks very professional. Let's watch one, shall we? That looks very professional. Oh, that's it. I love this. This is so wonderful.
That's talking about last week when I came here.
Is it? Where are you sitting? Talk us round that. Where are you?
Just sitting in my studio.
You've got a studio. Oh, look at you with your shag pile behind you.
It's different for me sitting on the settee.
Do you know what? And this is it. I mean, you do realise that's really quite a thing. Most people make jewellery on their knees.
This is what, hence I came with a great big suitcase full of stuff last week.
Oh, how wonderful.
So, Natalie, how can we get...